Short while ago. Coming back home, Parliament's Oversight Committee on Communications has resolved to institute an inquiry into the SABC Board.
It also wants the board dissolved. This follows the sudden resignation of two board members. Krish Naidoo and Vusi Mavuso insist that the current board is dysfunctional.
A tough day for the SABC Board. It was grilled by the committee on various issues, including the appointment of Hlaudi Motsweneng as Group Executive for Corporate Affairs, but the board chairperson defended Motsweneng.
What the GCEO, COO and CFO did was within their powers.
Two board members distanced themselves from the chairperson and revealed they were not aware of the contents of the presentation.
Here we are sitting, discussing and spending valuable time discussing mundane issues, I've come to the conclusion that this board is dysfunctional. It should be scrapped. And personally, I will be resigning today as a board member.
It's very clear that a particular picture is beginning to emerge, and it's actually worrying me. I cannot afford to be party to that. And for that reason, Chair, I believe that seemingly my contributions are not adding much value. And it's more the reason why I've come to the conclusion that I'm tendering my resignation today.
And these resignations opened up a debate on dissolving the board. The remaining board does not have a quorum.
After this resignation, there is no board in practical sense, practically. Two, there's oversight that must be done.
I think there's enough evidence that we have, both out of the Public Protector's report and out of the state of governance in the SABC at the moment, to sustain a charge that prima facie...
Literally, there must be 9 warm bodies, and we do not have that now with the SABC, meaning that there is no more a board of SABC that can constitutionally and legally take decisions.
Once you write to them and say to them that we are going to institute an inquiry into their fitness to hold office, you might find that they would automatically resign anyway.
Is the board fit to do its work? And the board members have now themselves answered that question, that they are not fit.
We are appealing to the individual members of the board left that we ask you to resign in terms of unanimous decision taken by the committee in Parliament.
For me, you don't just get rid of people. There's a due process that must take place. We don't have to be in a hurry.
There may, however, be some legal difficulties which could drag out the process, leaving a vacuum in the organization.
If your recommendation to the House to dissolve the board successfully persuades the House, subsection 2 then says the House would have to communicate that to the President. And what the President must do is in subsection 2, the appointing body, which is the President, in paragraph C, has no discretion but to dissolve the board if you receive that the resolution that recommends for the dissolution of the board. So that cleans up the process of removal.
The committee has resolved to initiate an inquiry with a view to dissolve the remaining board.
In principle, we have taken a decision for the inquiry. Processes must be followed. Parliamentary processes will have to be followed properly. Secondly, we'll have to write to individuals of the board, those remaining, to say this is the state of affairs in the board. May you please resign.
Meanwhile, outside, the various groups gathered to protest. Says Kona supported Motsweneng, while Right to Know insisted his appointment was irrational. But the committee made up its own mind. It is likely to table its resolution on the dissolution of the board to the National Assembly this month. Bulilani Philip, SABC News, Parliament.